The Florida Gators need to beat the Kentucky Wildcats to keep their bowl season hopes alive.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free, wherever you listen to the podcast and on YouTube. Happy Friday. I am Brandon Olsen from a new setting than usual. It's been a very long day of travel that has been wrapped up. And like I said, the Florida Gators need to beat the Kentucky Wildcats in order to keep their bowl hopes alive. And how sad of a state are we in now that's what we got to say. That you need to beat Kentucky to keep your bowl hopes alive. Sad stuff. Just want to say that one. The biggest thing for Florida right now, I think, to beat Kentucky is getting that stop on first down. And by that, I do mean when we talk about, like people could talk about success rate, people could talk, and which, by the way, somewhat inconsistent metric. Some places use success rate as, did you generate positive EPA on that play? And if the answer is yes, then it's a successful play. Some places generated as, let's say, first down, you gained 40% of the yards needed. Second down, you gained 50% of the yards needed, and stuff like that. And that just doesn't make sense to me. Neither does the EPA one, really. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. I think it's a weird metric, but Kentucky on first down and second down, not great, right? And they're going to try to run the football there. Like we know Kentucky's going to try to run the football in those situations. That's what they want to do. Getting a stop on first down, and I will also include second down in here, although I think the stop on first down is more important. Getting the stop on first down forces Kentucky into a situation where they've got to go, all right, do we want to run the ball again on second down, which if you've been listening to this show for a while, you know this, and if you are relatively new or if this is your first time, first off, thank you. But also that running the football on second and long, like you might as well punt. If it's 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10, and you're calling a run play, just punt. It's okay. Like just punt. It's incredibly unsuccessful. It's incredibly unproductive. Let Kentucky decide if they want to do that, because Kentucky's absolutely the type of team that'll say, hey, it's 2nd and 8. We are going to run the football. And they just might do that, right? And if you want to make them throw the football, or if Kentucky decides they want to throw the football, let them. Like no one is scared of Kentucky's passing attack. Sure, they will try to test you deep every now and then, but Cutter Bowley is still Cutter Bowley, right? And Cutter Bowley is not a great quarterback. And that's not even to be mean to him. He's a young quarterback. He is. He's young. He's going to develop. He's got time. But for now, he's not great. Like the Cutter Bowley that Florida will face tomorrow is not great. And if they choose to throw the football on second down, maybe get to third down, they will convert some of those, right? Here's the thing. Kentucky's offense, though, is not going to consistently pick up yards against Florida's defense. They're just not. I don't believe in Kentucky's ability to consistently pick up whatever you want to call a successful play. Like whatever a successful play is to you on first down. If that's 4 yards, if that's 40% of whatever it may be, which given penalties could change. Whatever that is, Kentucky's not going to consistently do that against this Florida defense. They're just not. And I do think that if you can force this Kentucky team into saying, hey, we want to run back into the teeth of the defense, we'll do that. Like this isn't the Florida defense the last time that they went to Lexington, right? This isn't the Florida Gators defense that is going to go, okay, Ray Davis, you could punch us in the mouth repeatedly. This is different. Like, these are different defenders. This is a different mentality, and this is a different approach to defending the run. Kentucky's going to run the football on first down, probably a lot, right? That's fine. Let them. Like, Kentucky is not a team that anybody should be fearing offensively. Like, I'm saying this, and they're probably going to put up 400 points against Florida tomorrow. But, like, Kentucky's not an offense that people are fearing, all right? They're an offense that people are bothered by. Like, that's really what it is. They're pests. They're going to go, they're going to pick up a first down, and they're going to destroy the clock. That's all they're trying to do. That's it. Like, they're not trying to truly consistently beat you. They're trying to just be annoying. That's really all they do. And so when I look at this Kentucky team and I look at what they do on first down or what they do on second down, like, 1st and 10, they're averaging just under 4 yards per carry when they run the football there. Hold them to slightly worse than that, and it's going to be really difficult, right? Like I think that if you hold them to just slightly worse than that, it's going to be really difficult when you get them into these third and medium, third and longs. Like, they're not good. They're not. Or, sorry, when you get them into third and long, they're good in the sense that they convert or that they complete a lot of their passes. But that's because when they get into third and longs, they do the Napier, right? Like, they throw the screen. They throw the quick flat. They're not looking to take a ton of shots deep downfield. When they're in third and long, they're going, all right, let's play field position battle. Because that's what Kentucky's trying to do, right? Like, that's what they want to do. So I do think that when you look at this Kentucky team in neutral situations, scoreboard-wise, that's what they're trying to do. Like, they're trying to just run the ball on first down, get their 4 yards that they generally get. But again, against good defenses, they haven't. And I will also say that when we talk about this Kentucky team is that there have been quite a few teams where if you stop the run on early downs, specifically, you tend to make them throw some fits. And when they throw fits, they do not play well, right? You look at Georgia, kept them close for a minute, which we'll talk about the Georgia game later. This is a Kentucky team that they couldn't score much on Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is a not great defense this year, right? They do not have the dudes. This is a Kentucky team that imploded against South Carolina. Like, even their wins, their games where you go, oh, Kentucky, they took you to the wire. It's Texas in 13-16, and it's Auburn 10-3. This isn't this high octane offense. This is an offense that is trying to go, hey, we're going to kill clock. We want to get 4 yards per play. That's it. That's all we want is 4 yards per play. And we're just going to keep chipping away at you and chipping away at you. And by the way, I know that there's a lot of people that are going to say, well, 4 yards per play is good. No, it's not. You don't want to average that. If someone said, hey, I guarantee you're going to get 4 yards per play, that's a great offense, right? Like, if I say, hey, I guarantee that every single play of yours is getting 4 yards, nothing more, nothing less, that'd be the greatest offense of all time. You would score a touchdown every single possession. But that's not it. Like, averaging 4 yards per play is awful. And Kentucky kind of wants to do that. They're like, yeah, like, we'll play 3 yards in a cloud of dust football. That starts on first down. You limit them on first down, that will throw off their entire game plan for the games, for the downs after that. We'll talk about the Florida Gators offense and what they have to do when we get back with Locked On Gators. It is almost the weekend. You still got a day, right? Time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order. These players delivered when it mattered most. And I'm going to say the obvious. It's Trey Wilson. Like, for the Florida Gators, when you talk about who delivered against Georgia last week, it's Trey Wilson. It's the guy that won't be available in this game against Kentucky. But that honestly just makes his performance against Georgia that much more impressive. It was an injury that he was playing through. It's an injury that he cannot play through this week. He came through. Like, he came through while banged up in a game where I think a lot of people were kind of like, all right, we're going to get blown out probably. Like, we're going to be hopeful, but probably get blown out. Trey Wilson showed up and had the best game maybe of his career. Considering the powerful opponent, first time he hit 100 yards, maybe. Just like Trey Wilson, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays. With DoorDash Streaks, you save every Saturday that you order. You stack it up all season, and you could save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period through November 18th. Thanks again for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free. Every listen to the podcast and on YouTube. And for the Florida Gators, I think offensively you have to keep the Kentucky secondary honest. I think that you keep their secondary honest and everything offensively will play out, right? I know that everybody's talking about the injuries, right? Everyone's going, oh, well, you got Vernell Brown III and Aiden Mizell and Trey Wilson, and Trey Wilson's out, right? You'll have at least one of Vernell Brown III or Aiden Mizell. I feel pretty confident in that one. So you'll have at least one of them. See how final availability reports go. But you have those guys, and you have and again, I forgot to mention Dallas Wilson. You don't have Dallas Wilson, right? So you're out receivers, and people will see that and go, all right, well, you're not going to be able to throw the football. And it's just like, that's not how it works. It's really not. I do think that when you talk about this receiving room, I think that there's still a lot of talent in that room and a lot of athleticism. We haven't seen the productivity, but I think there's still a lot of speed and a lot of talent there. And I think that just having that speed threat and having a quarterback willing to take those shots, because that's also part of it, right? Part of it is if DJ Lagway is not willing to challenge the secondary, then it doesn't matter who you have out there, what speedy receivers are out there, whether you have a fully healthy receiver room or not. If DJ Lagway is not going to test the secondary, then you don't stand a chance. And DJ tested the secondary last week. It didn't go his way, but he tested the secondary. He tested Georgia. Took 5 or 6 deep shots against Mississippi State. Took more deep shots against Texas A&M. Tried so hard to take them early on and then went away from them. So I think that when you talk about keeping the secondary honest, a lot of people immediately go to, well, you got all these injuries. I don't care about the injuries. You've got a very athletic wide receiver room. You've got J. Michael Sturdivant, who we've seen be able to go downfield and make plays, whether or not they get called or not. You've got just Tank Hawkins and his elite speed. Remember when Tank Hawkins committed to Florida and we were just talking about that speed? And it's like, oh, if you can ever get that speed to go, you can get that speed to go. TJ Abrams, that speed, if you can get that going, you can get that going. Like the big selling point with them is speed. You don't need to teach speed. You can't teach speed. You don't need to learn speed. You can't learn speed. You've still got these elite athletes in the secondary that you can keep their secondary honest with. Vertical routes, DJ Lagway taking the shot when it's there. And that's an important thing to do, taking it when it's there. Like we could talk about all the miscues that DJ Lagway's had, when really the biggest mistake that he's had, or the biggest miscue, or the biggest negative he's had, is simply that he makes everything way more difficult than it needs to be. He does. The amount of times we talk about the mechanical issues, a lot of those are things that he can control. And look, I do think that the leg injuries have played a part in that. I do. I truly believe that. I think that it plays a part in how he plants and how he drives and how he throws. But he also mentally makes things more difficult than they need to be sometimes. Just go out there and ball. Like Kentucky should be a game where last year that was, I don't even want to say his coming out party because he completed 7 passes, but like that was a game where he made plays and people went, oh, you might have a real dude here, Florida. You might. Jaden Ball had his 5 touchdowns, and like that's one of the main reasons that you need to test their secondary and keep their secondary honest. Is that you keep their secondary honest because early on we know Kentucky's going to come out and try to stop the run right away. That's going to be a huge focal point for them. That's going to be a huge focal point for every defense until DJ Lagway makes you respect him. And I've been saying that since week 3? It was the LSU game, the first time that I said it with Matt Moscona on the show. And I said, if I'm LSU, I am playing disrespectful defense. I am coming out and I am telling you, DJ Lagway, you beat me throwing the football and you make me change. He hasn't done that yet. I expect Kentucky to do that same thing. I expect Kentucky to say, hey, we're going to come up, we're going to fit the run, and we're going to make DJ Lagway beat us throwing the football. Because why wouldn't you? Like, he still hasn't proven to you that he's going to do that consistently. He'll have his game where he pops off, yeah. But consistently, hasn't shown anything. So I think that when we talk about DJ Lagway here, like, you got to challenge him. You've got to make that secondary. I'm not saying that you have to make them fear your arm, because I don't think that's something you could just think and do. Like, I don't think it's that simple. But you do need to keep that secondary honest. Make them fear the receivers at least. Like make them fear the receivers at least. And maybe that's a Ryan O'Hara thing, right? Like maybe that's more on Ryan O'Hara than DJ Lagway. Say, hey, we're going to run vertical routes. We're going to run play action, run verticals off that play action, and we're going to take shots. Might not hit, but he might. And if he does, it's going to make you think twice. And if he doesn't hit and the guy's open, but he just misses the throw, still going to make you think twice as a secondary player. Like, and it does. I know that we can talk about all the times that there's an overthrown ball and a DB like does some kind of shutdown celebration and completion celebration. But like as a DB, like you still know, like you got beat. You go, all right, Luke, I got away with one there, and you can still do your celebration, but you got away with one. I think that Florida's offense needs to just keep this secondary honest. And honestly, keep the back 7 honest. Don't let them just say, hey, all right, front 7, you care about the run. Everyone else, you care about the pass. Like that's not how it works. You got to keep everybody honest. You got to keep them going. And when your passing game does work, which again, I still think that at some point we'll see it. I don't know why. I think it's because I know that you've got the talent. So I think that we'll see at some point this passing game will work with a deep shot or 2. You will see the defense go, oh, all right, crap, he's got it going right now. Keep that secondary honest, and your run game will work. I feel pretty confident in the run game. I do. I think Jaden Ball is primed to have another big game against Kentucky. Not 5 touchdown big, but another big game against Kentucky. And again, like I know that last week the run game wasn't very effective. That's strictly because you were playing Georgia, who hasn't been able to generate pressure, but they still fit the run great. I think that when you have a team like Kentucky or a team worse than Georgia, you're going to see that run game work. Because, again, schematically, it was cleaner than it's been for most of this year. It's just a matter of actually hitting on those, which is unfortunately how we talk about a lot of this offense. And unfortunately, that is going to lead us right into the final thing that the Florida Gators need to do in order to beat Kentucky this week. We'll talk about that when we get back with Locked On Gators. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting on projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Join the free Trade Master program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHCollege5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. Thanks again for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever the podcast and on YouTube. And to wrap up today's episode of Locked On Gators, we've spoken about what the defense needs to do. We've spoken about what the offense needs to do. And we're going to stick with the offense a bit here still. Kentucky is 5th in the SEC in time of possession per game. Honestly, that's kind of impressive for a team that loses as much as they do, which, by the way, Florida is 6th, and these two teams both are sitting at 3 wins. Like let's not pretend that either of these teams are great. We could talk about how I think on paper everyone will tell you Florida's better than Kentucky, but on paper both these teams are 3-5, right? On paper, both these teams have at least one really ugly loss, right? In terms of the actual scoreboard, right? And Kentucky had 2 losses back-to-back. There were 3 touchdown losses in the SEC. And then they had a close loss, and then they had a 3 touchdown loss. Like, Kentucky's had these bad losses. And a lot of those bad losses come when Kentucky can't keep their opponents out of the end zone. Right. And for Florida, I think that you look at this and you say, okay, when we're going into this game, we know that Kentucky's style of offense or Kentucky's style of football is first off disgusting, right? But Kentucky wants to dominate time of possession, keep Florida's offense off the field. Obviously, those two go hand in hand. They want to keep Florida's offense off the field, so they want to dominate the time of possession. That's what they're trying to do. They want this to be a slop fest built on them winning time of possession and the field position battle. Like, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, hey, you know what? We're going to get a first down or get 2 first downs. Try to do that. Even if it's 12, 15 yards, not even a second first down, just first down plus some, and we're going to punt. And then we're going to try to get a quick stop on you. And then we're going to kill clock and try to pick up another first down and just keep trying to do that. Like, that's what they want to do. That's their style of football. It's disgusting. I hate it. It's gross. And I'm someone like, I love the run game. I love power football, but that's just, their style is disgusting. For Florida, if you can finish drives early, touchdowns, not field goals, early in the game, that makes that strategy impossible for Kentucky. That's it. Like once a team scores 2 touchdowns, Kentucky needs to abandon that strategy because it's not sustainable to play comeback football. Look at the Georgia game. That game started kind of close. It did. And then Georgia was like, oh, wait, we found a couple scores here. Like, we found out how to get some scores here. And it went kaput. That's it. Like, it's as simple as that. Georgia found a couple scores, and Kentucky went, well, now we need to abandon what we want to do. That's when things usually get ugly. That's all it is. Teams go up over Kentucky, and Kentucky can't fight back. Look at the Ole Miss game. Ole Miss beat Kentucky 30-23 at Kroger Field, by the way, same place where Florida's playing them tomorrow. That game started where Ole Miss didn't score until a few minutes into the second quarter. Kentucky had the lead still. Ole Miss scored another touchdown. Then Ole Miss went up by 4. Then this was just Ole Miss going up, and then Kentucky just closing the gap, tying, whatever it was, just keeping it close, right? That's all Kentucky was trying to do, is keep it close, because then they can keep playing their disgusting style of football. Kentucky won time possession in that game. Like, that's all Kentucky's trying to do. Keep it close, keep it ugly, keep it gross. But the moment that they get a little bit too far behind for comfort, it all gets blown to you know what. Because it does. Like it all gets blown to you know what. South Carolina has not been a great team this year, right? They've got some dudes, they've got some guys that I think are going to be pretty good NFL players. Have not been a good team this year. Kentucky and South Carolina was close. Kentucky had a fumble 6. Kentucky had the pick 6, and then it was over. Like Kentucky went down 2 scores, and that game was dead in the water right there. And then Kentucky scored 3 points the remainder of the game. South Carolina scored another like 18. It was dead in the water once that game went 2 scores. Georgia and Kentucky. It was close. And look, Georgia was just scoring early. They scored on their first couple of drives. But they had to grit and grind and fight for all those yards. Like, Kentucky wants you to play that ugly, gross football. I say it all the time. Like, and I know that it sounds redundant when I go, oh, yeah, they want to play gross football. They do. That's all they ever do. That's all they ever want to do is play gross football. If it wasn't for a pick against Tennessee, that game probably would have gotten way out of hand way earlier than it did because it got out of hand. Probably got out of hand way earlier. Kentucky doesn't finish drive and put up points consistently. They don't get into the end zone consistently. Their goal is to keep it as low scoring as possible because they think like they play how Billy Napier played at Louisiana. That's it. Like Billy Napier at Louisiana was winning so many close games despite having more talent than everyone. Kentucky doesn't have more talent than everyone, but they're using the same approach. Ball possession, dominate there. Field position battle, dominate there. Honestly, if I'm an opposing coach, if I'm Billy Gonzalez, if I'm Ryan O'Hara, if I'm Russ Callaway, I'm going to say, you know what we're going to do against Kentucky? We're going to come out, we're going to go up tempo a little bit. Try to score early and make them abandon that strategy. Because if they abandon that strategy, they're not going to be good. They've never shown they can be good out of that. Florida, last week, we saw a little bit of tempo. We saw it work a little bit against Georgia. Like, come out, run some tempo. Even if it's quick hitters, like just spread the secondary out, spread them out formation-wise and run the football. Like, I don't care. There are ways to attack this Kentucky defense that is really not as great as I think people like to say the numbers make them look because they dominate time of possession offensively. That's it. Like the dominating offensive time of possession makes your defense look better. Anytime that you face an offense that's willing to challenge that, and anytime you face a defense that's getting you off the field, it doesn't go Kentucky's favor at all. This game, Florida should win this game. Do these things and you will win this game. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day we are available daily and free of us in the podcast and on YouTube. We will be back tomorrow immediately following this game. Once it hits double zeros, we're there. For Locked On Gators, I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work with New York Giants on SI and swampsignal.substack.com. And I'll see you all next time.